Savannah Chrisley has become insufferable to fans. This has been a long time coming at this point. People who are even fans of the Chrisleys are starting to feel the same way. This is not going to be good for Savannah, as a lot of her income is from social media. However, people are so fed up that they do not even want to see her social media posts. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Savannah Chrisley has had her parents back since the moment they were sent to federal prison. However, she fought for 2.5 years while not losing hope. She and Grayson got the call from Trump himself, letting them know that he was going to pardon their parents. Savannah went to pick up Todd while Grayson went to pick up Julie. The family was reunited for the first time. This was also the first time since being locked up that Todd and Julie got to see each other. Fans may not have agreed with the pardon. However, they did love to see the reunion between the parents and their children. Savannah Chrisley has sadly become insufferable to fans. They are fed up with her constantly posting things about MAGA and Donald Trump. Yikes. Fans wish she would stop with this. It seems as though fans are not feeling Savannah or how she has been acting lately. Obviously, Savannah is a Donald Trump supporter. However, fans feel like, after the pardon, she is making too much of it. She is constantly wearing MAGA gear or posting about Trump. Fans just wish she would go back to posting a little more. But that is not about that. What do you think about this situation? Do you think she is insufferable? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. For years, Savannah walked the tightrope between reality TV fame and personal brand building. She carved out an identity distinct from her high-maintenance father, Todd Chrisley, by portraying herself as independent, faith-driven, and resilient. But as the Chrisley empire began to crumble, first under federal indictment, then through highly publicized prison sentences, Savannah's veneer began to crack. And what came pouring out hasn't sat well with fans. "I used to love her," one Reddit user wrote in a viral post on her /Proverbial Housewives. "But she's constantly playing the martyr now. Everything is someone else's fault. She talks like she's carrying the weight of the world, like no one else has ever had struggles. It's exhausting." That post has over 15,000 upvotes. And it's not alone. The general consensus from Twitter to TikTok is that Savannah's public persona has grown increasingly performative, defensive, and, perhaps worst of all, inauthentic. The podcast that pushed people over the edge when Savannah launched her podcast, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. It was supposed to be a platform for healing, empowerment, and real talk. And to her credit, it started that way. She opened up about losing both of her parents to the federal prison system, the challenge of raising her younger siblings, and the burden of public scrutiny. But the tone of the podcast changed quickly. Instead of introspection, fans got long-winded monologues peppered with self-righteous outrage. Instead of vulnerability, they got curated victimhood. And instead of accountability, they got passive-aggressive jabs at, well, nearly everyone: the legal system, the media, former friends, and even certain extended family members. "She acts like she's the first person to ever experience hardship," said one listener in an Apple Podcast review. "What she's been through is tough, sure, but that doesn't give her a license to look down on everyone else." Savannah's voice, once hailed as mature beyond her years, now strikes many as entitled and tone-deaf. Her insistence that the legal case against her parents was a witch hunt rings hollow to some, especially after court documents laid out a detailed pattern of fraud and evasion. "I want to root for her," another listener wrote, "but she makes it so hard." Instagram, filtered feelings, and fake Vibe Savannah's social media hasn't helped her case. With every hyper-edited Instagram selfie and luxury skincare promo code, she unintentionally reinforces the very narrative she seems desperate to escape: that she's out of touch. You're raising 2 kids and your parents are in jail, but somehow you always have time for a spray tan and a trip to the Bahamas. One fan commented on a now-deleted photo from her recent Turks and Caicos getaway. Critics argue that Savannah's social media presence feels more like an addition than a reflection of real life. Inspirational quotes are paired with bikini shots. Posts about God's timing come minutes after she's uploaded thirst traps with influencers or teasers for branded partnerships. "She's living like an influencer, not a guardian," said one ex, formerly Twitter, user. And the contrast is jarring. Fans expect Savannah to dress in sackcloth and ashes. They just want consistency, authenticity, something real. Instead, they say they're getting in performance, taking shots and playing victim. Another area where Savannah's popularity has taken a nosedive is her growing penchant for veiled, or sometimes direct, attacks on others. Earlier this year, she made headlines when she accused her brother Chase of abandoning the family during an emotionally charged podcast episode. The fallout was immediate and ugly. Chase fired back on Instagram stories, calling her comments a distortion of the truth and urging her to stop using our family pain as clickbait. But the feud didn't stop there. Savannah has also taken potshots at her aunt and uncle, former friends from the pageant circuit, and even the court-appointed guardians who temporarily oversaw her younger siblings before she gained custody. "She's got main character syndrome," a commenter wrote on TikTok. "Every situation has to revolve around her. And if you don't agree, she'll villainize you." Savannah, for her part, has doubled down. She's repeatedly stated that she's just being unapologetically real and that people are too sensitive. But the constant defensiveness seems to be backfiring. Fans say the line between authenticity and arrogance is a thin one, and Savannah's crossed it more than once. The God cordon of Savannah's signature personality pillars has always been her Christian faith. She often speaks about her relationship with God, how prayer helps her through tough times, and how her life is guided by divine purpose. But increasingly, fans say it feels more like a PR strategy than a personal belief. She weaponizes religion. One user said on a popular Bravo-themed podcast, "Anytime someone criticizes her, she hides behind God like it's a shield from accountability." Some critics have drawn comparisons between Savannah and other reality stars who use faith as a smokescreen. There's a growing perception that Savannah leans on religious language only when it serves her narrative, and conveniently forgets the core Christian tenets of humility and grace. She quotes scripture, but never seems to embody it. A blogger wrote in a takedown piece titled "Blessed and Bitter," "The Savannah Chrisley Paradox." Ouch! Is it just misunderstanding? To be fair, not everyone thinks Savannah is insufferable. She still has a loyal fan base, primarily those who see her as a young woman navigating a deeply unfair situation with resilience and grit. "Lil are so quick to judge," one fan wrote on Facebook. "She's in her 20s, raising 2 kids, running a podcast, and trying to stay sane. Give the girl a break." And there's merit to that perspective. No one can deny that Savannah's life has been uniquely challenging. The implosion of the Chrisley brand was swift and brutal. And while many believe her parents deserve their sentences, Savannah has been left to pick up the pieces in real time and in front of millions. That kind of pressure changes people. But the question remains, should Savannah be applauded for surviving, or held accountable for how she's portraying that survival? The road ahead Savannah Chrisley is at a crossroads. She can lean further into the role of embattled heroine, spinning every hardship into a sermon or story, or she can shift, soften, evolve. Some fans are still hoping for the latter. "I want to love her again," one longtime viewer wrote on a Chrisley fan page, "but she has to start showing us her, not the version of her that sells." Whether that happens remains to be seen. For now, Savannah continues to speak her truth, even if fewer people are tuning in to hear it. The podcast rolls on. The filtered selfies keep coming, and the comments, both loving and lacerating, continue to pour in. But behind the noise, behind the hashtags and headlines, lies a young woman in search of redemption, if not from the law, then from her own audience. And that, perhaps, is the cruelest irony of all. Because in a world where public opinion is currency, and where authenticity is the most valuable commodity, the girl who once had it all now finds herself bankrupt in the court of public approval.